Hello everyone, it's Benny, and in this video, I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm doing a survival let's play. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm making this video to discuss why I've been gone for 3 months. Because, well, I'm usually not big on talking about myself. My philosophy is that people have enough issues without having to hear about mine, but, you know, I was gone for 3 months. I don't think it's really right just be gone for 3 months, suddenly reappear, be like, hey, I'm back, and everything's fine. Yeah, I don't feel right about that. So, I'm gonna tell you what happened and why I decided not to. And that's about all I'm really gonna say. So, you can choose to listen, you can choose not to, and then, after I'm done talking about all that, I'm gonna discuss a little bit about the future, a little bit about what I'm going to do with series like the Advanced Redstone Computer series, and also I'm going to respond to a few comments some people have made about a few things. So, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and let's begin story time with Benny. So, story number 1. Hey Benny, why haven't you made any videos in 3 months? I mean, you were going good. You're making this Advanced Redstone Computer series. You're having just a little bit too much fun doing so. And then all of a sudden, you stop. What happened? Why is there this 3-month void of nothingness in your video making timeline? And really, the reason I stopped making videos is the short version, I suppose, is that I was hit by a bunch of time-consuming factors all at once. And I didn't have time to make a video. If I did, I would have unfortunate consequences in real life, and I didn't want that. So, I stopped making videos for a large period of time. That's sort of the short version. And if you're happy with that, cool, you can move on. But hey, I got time. I had a whole video to fill. I can give you the long version. And here's how the long version goes. I don't know how many of you know this or not, but I'm a high school student. Or, well, I was a high school student. This was my senior year. I was graduating from high school this year. And, of course, I had all the issues associated with that. I had the painstakingly slow and obnoxious graduation system. I had, the exams that everyone loves so much. And yeah, I had all those problems. I don't need to tell you about that. If you know anything about high school, you know those issues all too well, and I don't need to explain any of that. The thing you probably don't know is, I didn't just go to any high school. I know, this is starting to sound like a really crappy teen movie, but no, I promise you, I didn't just go to an ordinary high school. I went to an engineering high school where the whole focus of the curriculum was, in addition to all the normal high school stuff, I also was studying a bunch of engineering topics. I was studying dynamic systems, rigid bodies, statics, electric circuits. Guess which one I was best in? Yeah, no surprise there. But, yeah, I was in the engineering school, so I had to do a whole bunch of engineering stuff on top of the high school things. Namely, they pulled a little bit of a bastard move on me in the last part of the year. They decided, hey, this is our last year, we should give them this nice big farewell project. Yeah, that's very nice for people like me who have they do things in their free time, like, video making. They decided, hey, what would be a great project for all the engineering students to do? They should build a hovercraft. Yeah, I know, you can already tell how fantastic this idea is turning out. But Mo, it gets better. They said, they just build a hovercraft, that's not enough. We need limitations, or else it's not engineering. So, not only did we have to build a hovercraft, we had to make a hovercraft out of A, a wooden plank, B, a garbage bag, and C, a leaf blower. But wait, there's more! If I just had to engineer a hovercraft with limited resources, that can't possibly be challenging enough for a bunch of engineering students. No. In addition to this, and within the same time frame, they have to create a theme. They have to create some theme for the hovercraft, and then dress up and do cosplay or something ridiculous. I don't understand the project or how they came up with it, but yeah, we had to build a hovercraft. We had to do a bunch of absolutely ridiculous requirements for it. And yeah, that's when... Yeah, that's about 8 hours of my day, every day, gone. So, yeah, that's a big part of where I was. Although in fairness, the hovercraft project actually did end up being pretty cool. We decided to do a pirate theme, and it was awesome. I dressed up as Captain Barbossa, and I still have the hat. I love the hat. The hat, seriously, 17th century people knew their hats. Those trifold hats with feathers are freaking awesome. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. No, the end result of the hovercraft was actually pretty nice. Our hovercraft ended up going pretty fast. It went a full 7 miles an hour, and you're thinking, whoa, 7 miles an hour. You're flying, man. Yeah. On a wooden plank, on a garbage bag that's floating, yeah, 7 miles an hour is pretty ridiculous. But, yeah. So it did end up being pretty fun. We actually tried racing the hovercraft against some other group, and they ended up using so much power that it broke the electric circuit and shut out the power in part of the building. So, that was kind of nice, I guess. But anyways, so yeah, the hovercraft project did end up having some good to it. So it's not like this big evil looming cloud of doom. That's my whole point here. But the big thing is, it takes 8 hours a day to build this ridiculous hovercraft, and yeah. So there you go. That's where a huge chunk of my time went. In addition to all the ridiculous end-of-year stuff for high school, I had to do a presentation on quantum physics. That was a lot of fun, especially when I had to worry about building a hovercraft. And yeah, those were the two biggest time drainers I had, and that's a pretty big reason why I couldn't make a video. I was building a hovercraft, I was preparing a bunch of quantum physics so I could present it, because for some reason we do quantum physics presentations in high school. Don't ask me why. I come from ridiculous locations, but I'll save that story for another time. There's a bit of a story about me and places, but yeah, I'll save that for some other time. And yeah, there's also one more thing that ended up draining a lot of time. And should I save that for later? Yeah, I'll save it for later. But as to my coding channel, why not? I got a whole video to cover. I can have some time. So, yeah. I had a bit of a project going on with my coding channel. Now, I announced my coding channel a while ago. It's the Benny Box, in case you didn't know. In case you didn't see the little thing on the side of my channel every time you visit the homepage that says, "Hey, this is my coding channel. It's called the Benny Box." There you go. I have a programming channel. I do a bunch of game development with OpenGL and other stuff there. And one big thing I've always wanted to do there for a really long time is just, write a game engine. Write a 3D high-performance game engine that is ready for next-generation processing. So you can go ahead and make your big, fancy AAA games or whatever you want to do with relative ease. It's just a nice system for that. That's something I've wanted to do on that channel pretty much since I started it a year and a half ago. And I've been getting some pretty intense into the research for that. I really wanted to do that. It's something I've been interested in for a long time, and I wanted to share that with everyone. I wanted to share everything I've learned about it. So, not only was I doing a bunch of exams in quantum physics and hovercraft, but I was researching rendering equations and physics systems. And, well, I guess that sort of came along with a bit of the quantum physics, but, that's the idea. I had a ridiculous schedule for just months. And yeah, but I eventually did end up starting the game engine tutorial. I finally got enough material to at least get it started, and I love the way it's going so far. I think it's going great. I've got a working rendering system, well, a working incomplete rendering system. Right now it can load in a bunch of meshes, so you can create a mesh in Blender or Maya or your preferred 3D modeling program, and load it in and texture it and such. And then you can fly around in a free-moving camera. That's basically what I got right now. I'm working on some more stuff. I'm going to get into lighting soon, but anyway, I'm not here to talk about my game engine. Although, I love the way that's turning out. And yeah, if you're interested in that, you can go check it out. Yeah. But anyways, so yeah, that's the biggest reason why I haven't been making any videos for the past 3 months. I've kind of had a what the hell happened type of schedule. Yeah. And really, that's all I want to say about that. That's my story. That's why I haven't made videos in 3 months. If you expect me to start making a bunch of tutorials on advanced computers on top of that, well, I'm sorry. I'm not that good. If you're that good, good for you. I'm not, so I apologize. But yeah, so that's the story. Hope you enjoyed. If not, I don't blame you. It can't be fun hearing about all this stuff. But yeah. So that's all I want to say about that. And next story I want to talk about. Wait, what am I saying? Whatever. Point is, I'm going to move on now to the next thing I wanted to talk about in this video. And that is, I want to address a few complaints I've been getting about the way I've been doing the Advanced Redstone Computer series. Namely, hey Benny, I came to your Advanced Redstone Computer tutorial because I wanted to build a computer. I've never really done it before. I wanted to, just sit down and follow along with you as we build this big advanced computer. But instead, I just got a bunch of explanation. I got to listen to you talk for hour after hour about this is how you design a CPU. This is what an instruction set is. This is a bunch of boring computer crap that I do not care about. I just came here because I want to sit down. I want to build a computer. That's what a tutorial is. That's what it's supposed to be. And you're not doing that. Why is that? Why aren't you just building a computer? And you know what? I can understand that. I understand that feeling. That's actually the biggest reason why I made my original building a Minecraft computer tutorial way back when. It's because when I looked on YouTube, I came in there with that exact same mentality. I wanted a tutorial where I could sit down and build a computer along with someone, and when I looked on YouTube, or anywhere for that matter, that simply didn't exist. There were maybe 2 or 3 things kinda, sorta similar to that sort of thing, but none of them were finished. None of them really built a computer. So I wanted to sit down, I wanted to make that later on, and that eventually led to the YouTube channel that you're watching right now. So yeah, I completely understand that mentality. But here's the thing. I already did that. I already made a tutorial where you sit down and follow along with me and build a computer. That was the Building a Minecraft Computer tutorial, the tutorial series that really started this whole channel. So if you're interested in that, that's what I have that series for. But when it's going to this Advanced Redstone Computer series, if I sat down and just built a computer like I did in that series, then well, what's the point? I've already done that. I've already made a whole video series where you sit down and build a computer with me. I'd just be rehashing a bunch of old material. And that's just not fun for anyone. Why would I redo a bunch of material if I have this perfectly good series that does the exact same thing? So when I made this Advanced Redstone Computer series, I wanted to do something, different. I wanted to provide new content. If they wanted that type of material, they already had that. I wanted to provide material for people who were more advanced. I wanted to provide material for people who maybe knew a bit about redstone, but wanted to get really seriously into computing. Want to really build this big advanced computer, not because they've never built a computer before and they want to follow along block by block, but because they know how redstone works and they really want to get into computing. They want to explore this whole new world and figure out how it works, how to build this big effective computer with it, using maybe not necessarily a block by block description. Maybe they want to do some stuff on their own. And that's sort of the mentality that led into the way I built the Advanced Redstone Computer series. And I get that that's not for everyone. If you're not into that, you should look at the other computer series, because that's sort of why I did that with so many years ago. And yeah. But in all fairness, I've said this before. I literally said this in the first minute of the series. Literally, go back, look at video 1, look at the introduction to the Advanced Redstone Computer series. Literally, in the first minute of that video, I said, the way I'm going to be doing the series is I'm going to be first sitting down, explaining how a computer works and how you get an effective design. And then, once I've explained all that, then I'm going to be sitting down and doing the block-by-block build. Literally, in the first minute. And if you didn't understand that, yeah, I understand if you're that type of person. You know, I don't always say things in ways that are understandable to everyone. And, yeah, so if you didn't understand that, I can understand. That's why I'm trying to clarify right now. But if you're someone who didn't watch that video, come on. I literally said it in the first minute of the series. But yeah, again, I understand if that wasn't clear enough for some people, because, you know, it was the introduction video. I was trying to get through it quickly so I could get to the actual meat of the series, so I probably glossed over it. I probably didn't explain things as well as I probably should have. Probably wasn't as clear as I could be either, so I understand that. That's why I'm clarified now, and hopefully that clears it up for anyone else who is wondering about that later. And the other complaint I've really been getting goes a little bit something like this. Hey, Benny. I've been watching your Advanced Redstone Computer series. I'm building along with you, building the adder, the ALU, the memory, whatever. And I don't get it. You used to be this big person who explained everything, but you're not doing that. You're sitting down and you're just doing... I don't even know what you're doing. Like, seriously, what are you doing? You're sitting down, you're laughing your ass off about God knows what, and just, seriously, what are you doing? You're not explaining anything. You're just placing blocks down and expecting me to understand it. Just, well, what happened? Why are you doing this to me? What is wrong with you, Benny? And, yeah, I can understand that as well. I haven't been explaining things as well well, I haven't really been explaining things almost at all in the Advanced Redstone Computer series, in the build process, that is. And I have been acting weird. I won't even bother denying that at all, because I have gotten way too carried away at some points in that whole build process. And I don't really even know why, either. It's a mystery to me as well. But the thing is, when I'm doing this build series, I really wanted it to be about the computer. You know, I want it to be about, this is how you build a computer. I don't want it to be limited to the design I'm making. I want to keep it focused on all the individual concepts. So, if I start explaining things on a really low level, like, this torch powering this causes it to behave like a converse non-implication gate. When we have a converse non-implication gate, and you OR that with an regular non-implication gate, that can create an OR gate. I actually don't know if those are the two implies gates which create a XOR gate. I was just making that up, but yeah. If I get really low level like that, then I start missing the big picture, if that makes any sense. I really want to keep this focused on, this is how you make a great computer, not this is how you make a great part for a computer. Do you understand what I'm saying there? So that's why I'm not really explaining anything. The moment I start talking really low-level stuff, that really detracts the focus from this is how you build a computer, and starts making it more of this is how you build a component. And you might be wondering, well, what if I don't understand the components? What if I want to understand how to build the components and want to build all that fancy stuff? Well, that's why I have my Ultimate Guide to Redstone series. And actually, series, not just one individual series. I've made 4 series about different redstone stuff. So I have a series of series on all this stuff. And I think I did at least a decent job of explaining it. I don't think I did my best on some of it, especially around part 2. I think I could have done better there. But I do talk about all the individual components there. And actually that's a big reason why I made that, because I wanted to keep the Advanced Redstone Computer series focused on the computer and not have to worry about talking about all the components. So if you're confused about a component, that's alright. there's a very good chance that I have some video about it in that Ultimate Guide to Redstone. And yeah, so hopefully that clears a few things up. But again, this whole sort of thing I'm saying, it sounds a little bit familiar. You might be wondering if you've heard this somewhere before. And you're right. I talked about this exact same discussion, guess where? In the introduction video. That's right. I talked all about how I was going to do a nice casual build process in the introduction video. Come on, some of you people. Now again, I know I was rushing through the introduction video. I know I didn't explain things as well as I could have. So, if you missed it when you watched the introduction video, I can understand that. But there are some people who just completely ignored me in that the first 5 minutes of the series. And just come on. But yeah, I can understand if you didn't understand me there, like I talked about earlier. So, that's why I'm trying to clarify right here, because I think I didn't do a good enough job in the introduction video. I obviously didn't, because there's still some people who don't know what I was saying there. So, yeah. But again, I said in the introduction video that the build process was just going to be about building a computer. I'd talk about how the concepts I talked about in the earlier part of the series would relate, but it was just going to be, for the most part, sitting down, building a computer, not the whole go in depth about how every individual component works and build a computer, you know? So yeah, hopefully that addresses that, and hopefully there are people who understand why I did it and know that, hey, if they want that type of stuff, that's what the Ultimate Guide of Redstone's for. You can look up how all those different components work in those videos. So yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much everything that addresses the concerns that people gave me, and it almost completely addresses why I was gone. There's actually one more thing I have for you. You see, when I was gone, I started having a little bit of trouble with the server that I was building it on. So, eventually I ended up deciding it was best to move on to another server. So, I am now going to be doing the series on the ore redstone server, ore as in redstone ore, like you mine. And yeah, so just as a little bonus for being gone so long, I built almost the entire CPU that I'm planning on building in the series, just to give you an idea of what we're going to be done with and something for you to play along with. It's not complete. It's missing a few functions like outside memory addressing. It's missing a little bit of hardware like the program counter. But for the most part, it's a functional CPU that you can get on and play around with and look at, really, and just do whatever. So, yeah. This is pretty much it right here. And it's on the server. It's on my plot. Just do /pwarp_benny and it should take you to my plot, which has this on it. And yeah, here it is. It's got the instruction decoder. It's got the clock. It's pretty fast. It runs on a 13-tick clock. And so, yeah, there you go. So there's your bonus for having to wait 3 months. You get to see the finished CPU early on. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned. And I'll see you next time.